Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee, and we are here with Let's Talk. And I have in the building, I have both of my co-hosts, Hollis Lewis.
Hello.
And Lisa Otey. Lisa Otey, the
Oh
queen.
boy, we're off to a great start tonight, guys.
Yeah, this has been a little challenging going forward. All right, Lisa, we have a guest, and I think you're going to introduce her.
Yes, we do. So today we are honored to be joined by a trailblazer for West Virginia's capital city. Never gets old for me to say this. Our first female mayor of the city of Charleston. Welcome to the podcast, Amy Shuler-Goodwin.
Thank you so much. I'm the first, but I won't be the last. That's what I always say when
Let me
somebody
ask you-
says that. First, but not last, and that's okay.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When you hear that, when you hear somebody say that, what does it mean to you? How do you feel when you hear that? Because that's got to be, you have to recognize the relevance and importance of it. Where do you take it when you hear it?
So Delegate knows how when I say this, you want me to give you the real?
Yes.
My children now say that. Mom, do you want me to give you the real?
Yes.
I'll give you the real. When it first happened, I think when I was running years ago, I actually didn't allow it to absorb in my brain because I thought I didn't want to let people down, especially if I didn't win. And then when I won, because I think always in our life, when we're in public service or when you're in some public position, you have a tagline. What is your tagline? What is the thing that people say about you, right? And so initially I went, I don't know if I want that just to be my tagline. And then, ready? It was hand to the heavens, and many of you have been in my conference room. There is a wall that they have done over the years in the history of the city of Charleston. I didn't know this, but in the conference room, it has 16 by 20 pictures of every single mayor in the history of our city. And on my first day of job, they said, "Do you have a 16 by 20 photo?" And I was like, "You mean like in my back pocket?" The only 16 by 20 photos I have are of my children.
Yeah.
Literally, not
Right.
even my husband.
Right.
20, my children. They said, "We need one of you." And they put it up and they put me in the middle. But I didn't realize we were supposed to give it in black and white, so it was in color. Yeah. And so there is a wall in the mayor's office that has a picture of every single one. And it is now striking to look at. And every single person I have who comes, and it has been 7 years, without fail, Carl, people walk in the room and they say, "Oh,
Yep.
wow, huh." And so it doesn't have, it says little to do about me and everything to do about the city that they said, "Hey, wait a minute, we want a female in office." There had to have been something. And I think whether it be the things that I said or the things that we did during the campaign, but I always like to know that I am proud of being the first. And I am proud that is my tagline. And I am thrilled to this day when people say it, because dads bring up their little girls to me all the time and say, "Can I get a picture with my girls with you?" And that is special. It still gives me chill bumps to this day.
And not only the first, and I'm not saying this to butter you up because we're friends, but also...
You can butter me up. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
But also one of the most effective. And I think that, again, when we look at the city of Charleston, we look at what it was in 2013, 14, 15, and then when we look at it now, it's not only a downtown representative of a capital city, but it has become the downtown of West Virginia. In addition to, the amazing events that are happening in the city that we're here to talk about today.
Let's just get right to it. So we have the USA Cycling Championships here in Charleston. They're slated to continue mayor in Charleston through 2028. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. So that includes Olympic qualifiers. What economic impact do you expect the races to have this year and beyond that?
Yeah, for sure. So if we just take a quick look back, we're in a 5-year contract with USA Cycling and Pro Road to host the Pro Road National Championships. And so just a quick look back, it was close to a $7 million economic impact just for last year. I mean, it was, and again, real. The first year we had it, even when we went out to bid on this, I feel confident that even the CVB, Tim Brady and others went, you know what? I think we know what we're doing here, and we bid out, and we know what this is going to be. We saw the videos. We had done research on it. And the first year, I didn't know what it would mean. And so when I say $7 million impact, that sounds impressive, economic impact, and it is, right? Hotels, shops, restaurants, they're flooded with people. They run out of food, folks, which is great to have and run out of inventory. I can't pay for the national and international attention that we get. I can't afford to pay for the level of recognition that we get when you see the downtown city streets on international programming and national programming, that we are a bike city, that we are a city that is welcoming, and that we can host, super important here, top level Olympic athletes in an Olympic style event. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of sponsorship dollars invested in this. Listen, it's a lot of city worker time. As I was saying to the delegate, our street crews, our refuse crews, police, fire, EMS, park and recs, by golly, they were out there early this morning before the sun came up. And so it is a lot of input, but what we get in return is something that, we put on a piece of paper, it's $7 million economic return. It's much more than that.
Now, last year when we had this, or the last time we did have it, it was an Olympic qualifier. So just to put that in perspective, that's an international event. That's just not U.S. It's not just American, right? Or even local. So for this year's race happening this weekend, correct?
That's right. It's happening right now. Happened this morning. So what are they qualifying for? The Olympics? This is the World Championships. Yeah.
What's the significance or impact of this event?
And so what is so significant about this is if you watched the Paris Olympics and you watched the cycling, you saw Kristen Faulkner, who was here in Charleston, West Virginia, win gold. And talk about take your breath away. We were screaming at the television, much like some of our WVU baseball fans are right now. Please, let's go. Because she got there through here. To get to the Olympics, you come through Charleston, West Virginia. And so the folks that you're seeing now, including some of the world's best cycling athletes, are competing for a chance, some of them, to race in LA in 28.
Wow.
So they're practicing. They're practicing now, as a matter of fact. This poor young rider last night, I too, Carl, as you were coming home late, I too was coming home late, and I saw him. He was in his glow gear on his bike, pedaling up one of our very, very steep hills here in the city of Charleston. And I got into the other lane. I slowed down. I wound down my window. And very carefully, because I didn't want to scare him, I said, "Thank you for being here. We love having you." And he said, "I love being here. Thanks for having us. This is great." He could say all of that while going up the tallest hill. Now, right now. The parents, the athletes, the business owners, the spectators, they love having like this because it shows the quality of life that we have here in West Virginia. It shows who we are. Our Airbnbs are filled. Our host families from across West Virginia say, "Hey, listen, my kids are in school. I got empty bedrooms. Do you want anybody to stay?" Because cyclists, I have learned, they sleep with their bikes. And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, their bikes are in their room. They're fixing them. Before they go to bed, they're on them. First thing they do in the morning, they're on them. And so it is comforting. Plus, they're extremely expensive.
Those are mini cars.
Extremely
you're right.
expensive. And so we've learned a lot for sure. But I'll say, Lisa, the dollars and cents are incredibly important. And really, it's incredibly important for our image as a capital city and for the whole Mountain State, really.
Have you had a personal experience, let's say, with one of the cyclists that you had I'll say somewhat of a lengthy conversation with, and how proud they were to be here and excited. And I know you touched on that a little bit, but I think it's really the reality of someone coming from who knows where, coming to here, Charleston, West Virginia, and loving everything about it. How does that work for you?
Well, I'll go backwards before I go forwards. Kristen Faulkner, Olympic gold medalist. I saw her and last year, and she had Olympic rings on her arm. Wow. She said, "I don't have tattoos. I don't do tattoos, but I did this." And we were like, "Smart girl." That's right. I would have done that, like maybe on my forehead, but I appreciate you're modest. I got these here. What? I mean, that just kind of makes you get a little choked up. But it is the families of the cyclists that really thrill me. You know this about me, guys. I'm a mayor, but I'm a mom first. And so when I'm standing there and I'm watching the moms and dads and grandparents and aunts and uncles, because by the way, they're coming with all of those folks. Yes. Because sometimes parents are working. I can't go, but you're going with so-and-so, or you're going with your coach. And we're standing there watching them and listening to them say, people are almost obnoxious about it, falling all over themselves. What do you need? Can I get you a sandwich? How about another drink? That's just who we are. You know that. You know that in our own neighborhoods, that's how people act. I don't think that we recognize in West Virginia what is happening out there, because when people come here, they just say all the time, I don't know, this lady just literally invited me to her house for supper. I'm like, oh, it's Lisa. You're fine. Yeah, go ahead. like legit real stories. And most important, we talk about relationships. And so how did you get USA Cycling? This is huge. Well, you know how you get it? You got it because we went out after table tennis. And Tim Brady and the CVB got table tennis. Y'all ever talk about table tennis? No. You know what table tennis was for us? 20 different countries and athletes here for 3 weeks. I'm talking about it. Why? Because that's big money for these athletes to be here for 3 weeks. You got a great connection. USA Sports said to USA Men's Volleyball, hey, Charleston, West Virginia, you might want to take a look at them, because I know you've been traveling all over parts of the country. It's really expensive on transportation. By the way, men's volleyball, the year before we got them, spent $100,000 in their transportation. You know what we spent when we got them? Nothing. And that's how you pitch it. You come here, let us show you what we can do, because we will host you in the 2 hotels that adjoin the Coliseum and Convention Center, and we're going to have this for you downtown. It's walkable, it's bikeable. You don't have to do anything. So it is also about the cost of doing business here, which is good. And then USA Volleyball turned into USA Cycling, and then that relationship flourished. They said they were great. Again, credit where credit is due. The businesses, the supporters, the CVB members, the city team, you can do it. They can rise to the level of this type of event planning, an elite athlete event where you're hosting folks that what feeding stations are, and you know how to care for athletes who fall. Shout out to CAMC, Vandel. Wow. Those folks are with us, and our EMS crews, because, by the way, this is also something I learned in cycling. You can fall.
Yeah. Yes.
Off of your bike. Going 50 miles an hour.
And that's one thing I wanted to touch on, is that if you have not seen these elite athletes ride their bikes, talking about on a curve, the bike is literally probably at, I would say, about, 60, 70 degree lean. It is amazing to watch. We talk about all the other things as far as the economic impact and all these other things. But when it comes down to it, this is an event in which you have to see for yourself. It's one thing seeing it on TV, but if you're downtown, I was downtown watching them just zoom by me. It's really amazing the level of athleticism that it takes to, maneuver that bike through, the type of terrain, whether you're talking about hills or blocks or whatever.
And we literally saw athletes fall off their bike, take their skin from their knee to their ankle off, get back on that bike, and go another 10 miles as fast as they can uphill. It's insane.
It's amazing.
And I think every sport, no matter what it is, and I think people lock into football, basketball, baseball, and they, the guy who's playing hurt, he's wrapped up and he's going to play hurt. But for the bikers, that moment is now. You know, like you're off your bike, you hurt something, you're thinking wrapping it up and go, or not, it's not even really a wrap up. It's get on the bike and keep going and thinking about nothing more than winning. I mean, that's the unique side of the mindset of those athletes themselves.
So something we started a couple of years ago when we began this relationship with USA Cycling is to inspire. You've got to see it to be it, right? And so we wanted to make sure that we were contributing in that way. And so every year we give away at least 100 bicycles. Charleston Stern Wheel Regatta, they're awesome because, and it is such a fun event to watch somebody get on their princess bike, first bike she's ever had. Here she gets on her little princess bike, and those Olympic athletes pushing them along the way, or the teenager who's never had a bike or outgrew that bike and couldn't get another bike. It's one thing that I think that we do really well, and we're going to do it during our Juneteenth ceremony down at City Center at Slack Plaza. We're going to give away bikes as well there and at Warts because you guys know this better than I do. How many people are going to be Olympic level athletes? How many people are going to play in the NFL? How many people are going to play in the NBA? Probably not many.
Not
we
many.
know, we obviously know some. But what is so incredible about having an opportunity to watch somebody do this, you're into it now too, aren't you? You're inspired. What is that? That's different. It's not basketball, baseball, football, soccer. It's something different. And if I'm not good at those things, am I good at this? And to give it a try. It is like our skate park. And I know I'm going way off. Carl, where's the
not at all.
You're going to rip me out of my seat. But if we're talking about athletics, and I played sports my entire life. I played in every single sport in high school, including on the men's golf team. But not everybody wants to. Not everybody's good at it. And we have to make sure that we are, as a city and a state, providing opportunities for kids. You want a bike? That's cool, too. You want a skateboard? That's cool, too. I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that our busiest park in the city of Charleston would be our skateboarding park.
100%.
But it is, because those kids didn't have a place to go until we built it for them. And it is packed. And by the way, it's the kids who were skateboarding, and other kids were like, yeah, I'm not good at football. I'm not good at basketball, but I'm not bad at this. This is okay. And so giving people an opportunity to try something that they normally
Basketball player, baseball, whatever, maybe that ends up being their thing. You know, so, you know, but all that's great, you know, and I think that, you know, it's something that I think has to spread. Keep continuously spread all over the state and make it great and let people know. So that's one of the reasons why we have you on, just to make sure people hear this and know that it's available.
Yeah. And so, Mayor, I just wanted to go back. You kind of touched on this a moment ago, but the logistics of having this happen in our city and the outlying parts of the city, you know, how do you manage that with, you know, you got events like Live on the Levee coming up. You mentioned, you know, the Juneteenth celebration and parade. We got Rolls on the River, I think, going on. How in the world do you get this all organized and ready to go for these bikers and still include these other special events?
We are blessed to have community members who just love it and who are really good at it. And quite frankly, we have a city team that's really good at it. We are good at doing this. And it's one of the reasons why we were able to secure USA Cycling and we are able to host 225,000 people for the Charleston Stern. Makes me a little worried here. I'm getting a little tickle in my throat because that's just, you know, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road. Intense planning all the time, ad nauseum, going over emergency plans, exit plans, strategy plans of, you know, those things are always everybody's top of mind, tip of tongue. I'll give you a great example. So I'm trying to get back into running. Don't ask me why. But anyways, so I'm on the boulevard the other morning at 6:30 in the morning. And here are guys with our water buffalo doing our beautiful, beautiful shout out to the Beautification Commission. They're doing a great job. And they're watering our flowers. And one of the guys said to me, I said, oh, this looks so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. He said, yeah, but what are we going to do during USA Cycling? We were just talking about, because the guardrails are going to look at this, and we got the map out, and we were trying to figure if the water buffalo will go, or our little 4x4, will go around that I was just like, you
Nice.
guys are worried about. And by the way, it was only like 7 hanging baskets that are right there in front of Haddad.
Yeah.
But they were worried about it because they were involved in the planning. And that's the other thing that we do in the city. And again, I'm prideful of I'm only one of 730 employees. Got 730 employees. I'm only one of them. They're serious about their job. And those guys were thinking, I'm not going to be able to do my job. This is part of my job, and I'm not going to be able to do it. They are involved in every planning meeting. Every single person who touches an area of this event is part of the planning process. We don't just send the directors. We don't just send, I want you involved.
Right.
Because if you're working it, we want you to understand what's happening. And I think that's part of it as well when you include people in that planning process. In addition to, USA Cycling doesn't just come in with USA Cycling. They hire professional event management and sport management teams. Medalist Sports, Buddy Otey, you want to see a smooth operation. They know what they're doing, attention to detail, because that's all they do. That is all they do. They do cycling, they do marathons, they do horse racing, they do massive events with a lot of interaction with municipal government, and and state government, and they do a really good job of event management.
It's always impressive, and I think a lot of people don't understand that part of it when you talk about the planning of it, because you have to be meticulous, particularly when it comes to an Olympic qualifier, right? So when USA Cycling came and they actually got to do a site visit of the city, how much did our terrain come into play? Because we are a hilly city, we have hills going up, going down, and again, if you haven't seen somebody go up a 90-degree angle and then come back down, I would advise you to do it with curves.
Yeah.
So
If they want to see that, they should go to Bridge Road Bike Bash on Sunday.
Yes.
That is the best place to see
it
the
is
last races.
amazing. So okay, so what was their thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we're not kidding. We went and I looked back at other races, and I think part of it is when they came in, they said we had just gotten done with doing a big paving cycle, and I was trying to be cute and clever and cute, and maybe I was a little bit. When I watched their past races in other cities, I looked at their planning designs and processes, and they had this section where we literally watch people on their municipal team turn their grates, because the slats go this way, but during the races they have to go this way because I don't want your tire in it. So when I say attention to detail, buddy, I mean attention to detail. And so I just bring that up as just another highlight of the point of it's all hands on deck. But when they came in and saw that we were going to do paving, another new round of paving, infrastructure is important.
Yes.
And spending money on infrastructure, because they said, honestly, there's this area and this area we've got to redo. We're a little concerned about this. Maybe we can redo and smooth it, pave it. Other than that, it's totally great. We're good to go. Okay, that put us to the top of the list. And then being intimately engaged and involved in understanding what they needed from us, EMS, road crews, traffic, and blocking. Because let me just say this, we all love it. We love it. We think it is absolutely what the city needs. And in my background, I really do, and I am passionate about events. It is not just an event. It is about business development for the city of Charleston. It is about true growth. It just simply is. But it also puts people out. People are going to be delayed a little bit here and there. People are not going to, you're going to be at that stoplight as those racers. It's a rolling closure. You're going to wait a minute or two. Yeah. And so that also is hard for us to manage as well when you talk about big events like this. We're all standing there in our big red and blue and cheering. But there are people that are late for work. And so we also have to manage expectations about how quickly you're going to get in and out of certain areas. So it's a lot about managing that and knowing that ahead of time and working with the crews to say, we know how great this is, but we also know that, I think Lightning McQueen said, rubbing is racing. Isn't that what that little car said? Rubbing is racing. So he said,
I love that.
Right? Didn't he say that little car?
Well, Amy, we'll let you get out of here. We don't want to take you too long, but we appreciate every time that you come. So I'm sure you will be back again for us.
I love going to a sports show. It just gets me so excited every time I go. You guys are so special, and thank you so much. I listen to you guys all the time.
Man.
Appreciate you.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. comment on episodes, or suggest topics at our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee, and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation.
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, or even wrongfully arrested. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Shaking hands is what you do when you're in the little leagues. When you're in JV, when you're trying to teach about, hey, treat the game the right way. I don't believe that NBA players or professional athletes have to shake hands. Why? Why do I have to do that?
I'll answer both of y'all when y'all finish.
No, I think this is a real thing because we see it all the time in college basketball.
I got a lot to say.
They didn't shake hands. They don't respect the game. Why do I need to shake your hand?
Well, that's part of the obligation.
No,
that's
it
part
isn't.
of the rule. That's part of the rule.
Who made it
not
the rule?
Obligation.
I don't know, but if that's what everyone does.
But here's my thing. Well, I don't have to do it because everybody does it. Like, nobody did make it a rule. I can respect Stephen A. Smith, and when we're done, I don't need to dap him before I go off set. I'm here to debate him. I'm trying to win a debate. And I think it's the same way with the NBA Finals. I get when Isaiah Thomas and all this stuff happened back in the day, but I think it's one of the worst rules for professional sports that I have to show sportsmanship and shake your hand after you beaten me in a moment where maybe I don't want to shake your hand. Maybe I don't like you. I don't need to like you. I don't get paid to like you. I get paid to compete against you, to win championships. Okay. So there's no prerequisite that says when the game's over, I need to say, hey, way to kick my ass. No, I can take my ass home, and I can say, you know what, cool, I'll see you next time I see you. And when I see you, I'm going to come for you again. I think it's a bigger topic that we're missing the boat on. Shaking hands is...
Okay, so that was our friend Jay Williams on Stephen A. Smith's show, and he was just giving us his opinion of the, I want to call it handshake gate is what I want to call it. but anyway, he's referring to, of course, the championship game, the NBA championship game between the Spurs and the Knicks, and the Spurs refused to shake hands. With
specifically Victor Wembanyama.
Yes, specifically him. So you two, coming from sports, football backgrounds, what is your opinion of Jay Williams and his thoughts?
Well, again, shout out to the Knicks for winning the championship. Yes. I think it's going to be good for basketball that they won. I don't have a problem with what he said, and in fact, I love it. I think that particularly like in professional sports, it's too many friends. Like, we don't need to be friends. Create drama. Create storylines that are on the court, that are basketball specific, that relate to rivalries and different things of that nature. You don't have to shake somebody's hand. I'm sure there's always a level of respect there. These guys are professional athletes. They're competing against one another. And I don't want everybody to be friends. It was fun to watch the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s hate everybody. It was so fun to do that. Now, again, I don't think you should be pouting. I don't think you do like what Cam Newton did in the Super Bowl, a couple years back. You don't pout. You face the media. You go, we did this, we didn't do that, and then you go home. But I like the rivalry. I like that he's not Mr. Friendly. Because, again, we're going to sit up here and complain about LeBron James. We do that on this show. Oh, he messed the league up. He messed the competition up. But then we have sort of the antithesis of that. We have the opposite of that, who is, by all accounts, he's going to be a great player and has a dog mentality. And sometimes it goes dark. And he got dark, and I love it.
Uh-oh. Carl?
I didn't know if you wanted... I didn't know if you...
You can go. You can go. I want you two to go first.
All right. Let me first say this. I cannot believe that I heard what I heard come out of your mouth.
Love it.
I just can't imagine that. And let me be clear. Playing for me at West Virginia State, you was gonna shake hands,
and I thought it was the dumbest thing ever.
And in that, because here's the difference in what sports really is, and especially at what I'm going to say at the youngest levels, it is just fun.
But we talking about the highest level, though.
I'm gonna get there.
Okay,
I'm gonna get there.
All
I'm gonna
right.
get there. So as you grow up, and as you change from youth football to middle school, there is a respect for your opponent. Whether you I don't have to like you on that team, but I have to have a respect because I know you're good. So when the game is over, we've been out there going at it as hard as we possibly can. Whoever wins, that's a done deal. But the respect in which I want to give you because of your skill set, I show that in that handshake. There are guys who I did not like that would be on another team, but when the game was over, I'm still shaking their hand because of the respect of who they are and the game itself.
But your generation can't complain on one hand, oh, guys are too friendly. They're not taking but
you ain't never heard me with that.
Y'all complain on, I'm saying not you specifically, your generation. Y'all complain on one hand, but then when you have a guy who's probably the ilk of your generation, who's more similar as far as mentality, then you complain on that hand.
Okay, again, let's make clear. That's not me.
Okay.
But Sterling Sharp, I'm playing against him. We are like at best great buddies on the field at the same time, laughing and joking, but playing at the highest level possible, right? And that touchdown that he gets on me, what makes that a little bit less is just because the respect that I have for him. So when the game is over, I have no problem shaking his hand. And I think sports is not in a space to where winning games is the most important thing that's ever going to happen. Your life is going to be something bigger and outside of that space. And if you don't understand how to manage that, because there's no chances that you're going to go through life and not face somebody that you maybe don't like, and you're gonna have to reach out and shake their hand and do that. Sports helps you with that. In the worst time, we lose the NFC Championship game, but I have no problem walking across the field, shaking a guy's hand who beat me in that game, because I respect him, and he respects me. And to me, it's a disrespect for the opponent that you playing, and I won't even say
by
the
not
opponent.
Shaking hands?
Yes.
I don't know. I just don't buy that. Again, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead and finish your point,
I'm just
please.
saying, again, we talk about all these things. We talk about the LeBrons. We talk about athletes being too friendly. We talk about all the guys swapping jerseys. And your I'm not saying you specifically, but your generation has so much to say about that. How they hate it. The guys aren't serious. They don't have passion in the game. Then we see somebody who has a deep passion for the game. And again, at that level, it is about winning. It's not all these life lessons. These are professional athletes. It's about winning and losing. It's about championships. It's about he's trying to assert himself to be in the greatest of all time conversation. That's the type of mentality that Wemby has, and I love it. I love the dirty play. I love it all because
I don't mind the dirty play.
We need that in sports because everything's
what do we
so
need
friendly.
It for?
Because there's no
for watching, for people to watch.
Yeah.
I don't care if you watch.
Okay.
I don't care if you watch me.
Okay.
You do because you gotta have people. You gotta have people watching.
Let me just throw my 2 cents in, guys. If you don't care, I'm gonna look at both sides here. I feel like the point that Jay Williams is making or trying to make is when it comes to those handshakes, it should be authentic, versus just ritual. So,
I like that.
Everybody shakes hands and you do it, that's just part of finishing a game, but it should mean something. I think that's what he's trying to say, that it's not just something that you do, you should mean it. But in my opinion, as a professional athlete, I get that we want the competition, we want the rivalry, we want the heated, back and forth. But I think the bigger picture of professional sports is we're setting an example for youth.
Yep.
And I think we need to model grace in defeat.
Yep.
You can play as hard and as dirty and mean as you like during the game, but after the game, you show that you're showing like Carl said. I'm Team Carl tonight, so I hope I don't get fired tonight. I hope tonight I get I get a pass just for tonight. But just for tonight, Hollis. But I do feel like the NBA does not have like a mandated, structured handshake tradition. It's not something that they have to do. So it's a personal choice. Yeah. But I also think that it can hurt a player's reputation. I mean, I think that sometimes when it kind of makes you look like that person that is not, you're more self-centered and more solo and not a team player, in my opinion.
But you can't be team player. You're talking about a handshake to the other team. Again, we're talking about a situation in which you have a guy. Again, when we look at sports as they're currently constructed, there are no more real heated rivalries in sports. And it stinks.
And you're blaming that on the handshake?
No. But here's what I'm saying, though, is that they're not rivalries because nobody hates each other now. Like the Bulls hated the Pistons. Lakers hated the Celtics and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? The Giants hated the Niners. The Niners hated the Cowboys. Cowboys hated the Redskins. And what I'm saying is that
But you realize that they did shake hands after the game.
Some of them did, some of them didn't.
No. Bro, back in my day.
Sometime they did, depending on the game. They didn't always do it.
I'll make this case. The Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
From the day I got there to the day I left, we didn't win every game. And we lost against some – bro, every time I lost against the Packers, bro, I'm mad because I know –
I hate that for you.
I know that I got to hear it from Sterling. Bro, but you know what's going to happen? Bro, I know he's coming. Bro, and not just him. Just the whole team is coming across and we're shaking hands. Bro, there are times when you have 6 or 7 players – on opposite teams standing on the field talking after the game. Because you know what? What we know, when you start talking professional, what you know is everybody's great and everybody's going to win or lose a game. So when you get done, once the game gets done, bro, I'm not mad at you.
I want you to be mad. Look, I'm not talking about all that. I'm not talking about all the
being like I don't have to have this issue with you.
What I'm saying is I ain't talking about all the life lessons. I don't care about that right now. I'm talking about I want to see rivalries on TV. I don't want everybody friendly, and every superstar ain't friendly. Every team versus this team or this conference versus that conference. I want to see heated rivalries. I wanted to see the fans have a rivalry. I was watching Winning Times about the Lakers, 80s Showtime, and they were talking about situations where they were playing in the Garden in Boston, and they win a game, and they got to, and the fans are so heated, they got to get out there. They're rocking the bus. I want to see passion, and we don't have that in sports no more. Everything is so corporate, and everything is so clean, and everything is so friendly. It's okay every once in a while to have a villain, somebody who's going to buck what's currently going on, and I love it.
But don't you? Okay, so let me throw this in there real quick. So, do you not agree that it is to go and shake hands? It's a physical acknowledgement of a loss. Like you have to look that opponent in the eye. You have to kind of process that this person, they won, you lost, and if you don't do that, doesn't it kind of signal a mental defeat?
The physical indication of the loss is the scoreboard. You got whooped. And you was up in every game. And again,
it's a goodwill type of gesture. I mean,
that's true.
You don't wish ill will on them.
I'm sure he doesn't. But the Spurs were up in every single game. Every single game of that series, they were up probably by double digit at one time of the game, and they got whooped throughout the series. That was a critical beatdown, and I'm sure from all that,
did they shake hands prior to?
I don't know, but that's it.
So my assumption is they shook hands.
I mean,
prior.
I've seen a game or two where they just kind of left. I've seen a game or two.
Some guys left, but most of the time
I've seen a game when Wemby left.
Okay, that's him. That's his issue.
Ain't no issue. It's great for the sport.
Wasn't there an issue with the WNBA? Or no, it was the women's college basketball championship. Wasn't there an issue about coaches not shaking hands?
It was
Chelsea
like
Staley or somebody. She got snubbed. Dawn, I'm sorry, Dawn Staley.
Yes.
Dawn Staley.
Yes, that happened.
Got snubbed.
And again, that's not
they were cursing each other too.
That's not what you represent. That's not what you're supposed to bring to your team.
Bring it.
I just think. Okay, so let's just take one of your daughters.
Yeah.
What you would likely tell them to be as sportsmanlike as they possibly could in any given sport, right?
Yeah.
Would there ever be a time that you would say, if this happens, don't shake nobody's hands or don't even be nice. Just walk off the court.
I think what we're missing is that I don't think he was thinking in his head, if we lose, I'm not shaking hands. What I would want for my daughters to have that same level of passion and be wrapped up in their craft to a degree in which if you lose a game like he lost where it would be hard for you to deal with in that moment. I want that level of passion. So, like I said, I think Wemby is the athlete that we need at this time because we have a lot of athletes who just don't have the level of want to, particularly in the NBA and the sports that needs it.
All right, so what the reality to that, what I'm hearing from that, okay, is they can't accept losing. Because they are who they are. They can't accept
it in the moment. Just in the moment, not long term. I'm not saying this is forever. I'm sure he'll get back on the horse. We'll see him next year.
When you can't accept the loss. You can't accept the fact that you lost. So what you're going to do is who you're blaming it on? You're taking it out on the visiting team.
Oh,
so I'm not even going to shake their hand. They beat you.
You're putting a lot on that. Taking it out on the visit. No, you're just
what am I doing?
That's crazy. You're taking it out.
Lisa,
that's putting a lot on it.
Let's move on. Okay, I think we're all going to agree to disagree. We all have differing opinions. Let's talk about WVU baseball. Let's move on. So. The Mountaineers just pulled off. I know this won't air till later in the week, but they're moving on to face number 5 North Carolina tomorrow at 2:00. So it's double elimination. So this is it, guys.
Explain how that works, double elimination.
Yeah. So it's kind of complicated for me. My husband had to explain it all to me. But basically, you are not out of the tournament until you lose twice.
Yeah.
And the way that they do it, like the two teams like Troy and West Virginia played before. West Virginia won, I believe. And Troy had to play them again because West Virginia lost to North Carolina. So now North Carolina and West Virginia will play again because West Virginia defeated Troy. So it's kind of confusing.
And West Virginia has to win twice. So they have to beat North Carolina twice.
Yes, right? I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, because they have to be. North Carolina has to have two losses as well. So it's kind of mind-boggling to me, but that's how it works. But so just focusing on the team, the way that they're playing. I did a little research on the roster. They do have 11 seniors, and I was kind of like, when I looked at it, they've got a 5th-year transfer from Paul Schoenfeld, who's center field and a real consistent hitter for them. They also have 3 transfers: Sean Smith, Brock Wills, and Brody Kresser. So when I looked at that, I thought, they've really, West Virginia in the baseball world anyway, has taken advantage of the transfer portal to get to where they're going. So what are your ideas about that?
Well, my question to that is, okay, so it's super important that if you have to win now.
Yes.
Because with those seniors, unless your plan is to go back in, because is the depth chart going to be able to be your step up after these guys are gone, or are you going to have to go repeat what you just done, go cherry pick and find the best players that you can find and put them on your roster. I think that's the only way that you can. That's the only way you could do it.
Yeah, I think this is kind of, something that's probably not unique to this year of baseball because of the way they get drafted. So these guys, they can leave when they're juniors, probably in sophomores and even freshmen, because you can go straight out of high school to get drafted as far as baseball is concerned.
Yeah.
So I think, it's one of them things where, baseball is a deep sport. And I love it because I think it's rounding out to those guys are coming to college now. So a lot of the major league teams, they've sort of, folded a lot of their affiliates and their minor league system. So I think it would be good, again, not to fold that completely, but I think it would be good, if we can get some of that talent back to college and those guys can stay 3, 4, maybe 5 years. So I really like it.
Yeah, and I think it's a reflection of the brilliance of their head coach, Steve Sabins, to be able to do that, what he's done with the Mountaineers. I mean, of course, the coach before, Coach Mazey, got it all started, but I think he's carrying on, Sabins is carrying on the tradition pretty well. And, South Carolina, I think he was in the talks to be the South Carolina head coach, and it didn't happen. I think the West Virginia is going to secure him, and he'll be back next year. So it's all good right now.
See, and I think what's unique about it too is like, not only are you bringing in players that are talented, but they are blending in with your team.
Especially
sometimes
transfers that.
Yes, because sometimes, you can get somebody who it doesn't fit maybe the roster, but it's seemingly now those guys are just. It's fit. I mean, it's a fitting process that they have created there that, like, hey, man, we can win.
Yeah.
And anybody, I think going forward, I think it won't be very difficult for them to get players to come.
So what do you guys think? Do you think they have a chance? Do you think they can beat
For
North
sure.
Carolina?
I mean, North Carolina's a tough team, and I want to say the last time WVU was in this position, they lost to North Carolina. I want to say a couple years ago.
They did. I was there.
Yeah. So this has kind of been one of those rivalry situations, and it's cool to talk about college sports in June, right?
It is.
It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like leading up to what's going to be at the top of everybody's mind, obviously college football. So it's cool to talk about it in June. It's cool to talk about like WVU sports when we talk about, as Mayor mentioned, winning the Crown Championship, the women's team being in the tournament, the rifle team, baseball. Obviously, we want to get back in football, so it's cool just to have the state on a stage. Obviously, what we did in soccer a couple years back, so it's cool to have our premier university being competitive across a bunch of different athletics.
And as a Marshall guy, but more so as a West Virginia guy, I can appreciate watching and realizing how good West Virginia is doing. Yeah. You can't, there's no way to really kind of swing off.
So you're ready to say go Mountaineers?
No.
I'll say let's go, and you say Mountaineers.
Not happening.
But even Marshall sports, right? When you talk about what the women did, you talk about obviously they're always pretty good in football. The basketball team. So it's like even Marshall.
Yeah. So
I'm proud of both schools, really, being in athletics.
Yep. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, me and Hollis probably won't be talking until next show.
Hey, I'm right.
And we will be back again next week. We're out.